back to another edition of Extra Butter. Today, it's a little bit like 13 going on 30. It's a little bit like Freaky Friday. It's just called Little. We'll be talking about that cast, and Zach Galifianakis is the missing link. That explains everything. And move over, Grandpa Beelzebub. There's a new Hellboy. His name? Still Hellboy. We talked about that and more on this edition of Extra Butter. Hey guys, you were in there? I didn't know you were in there. Take the popcorn and it's stop!
Michael!
Hey everybody, it's Mikey Winfield! It's Mikey Winfield. Come on, let's do the show. The gang's all together again. These are my friends. We get together and talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Hey! All right.
You guys are amazing. Where have you been? Where have you been?
I thought he was dead.
So we will start with the world famous Mike E. Winfield.
Yes.
Where have you been?
You know what? I've been making life happen. You know?
All right.
And that's what happens. You get out there, you take more acting classes, you get more opportunities,
Yes.
you drop comedy specials, you write jokes, and you live life. And that what I'm saying is I lack balance at home.
Where do we find you?
You know what? Mike E. Winfield. Everything.
And over here with sound and Foley, Maria Gloria, Maria, where do we find you on YouTube?
Maria Gloria with 2 A's.
There you go. The
Okay.
world famous traveler, Kelly Savannah Deaton.
Kelly Savannah Deaton.
And as
at that.
always, I'm TV Marcus Allen. So this week we got to talk about Shazam! Crushing it.
Shazam!
Yeah.
All right, you made fun of me because I like this movie so much.
I always make fun of you, but yes, this in particular, because you said, Kelly, you will love this movie. It's amazing.
You didn't love it?
I didn't love it, but I did like it, and I think it's a great direction for DC to go in.
Mike?
You know, I was intrigued by Freddy, and disabled superheroes
Yeah.
is a big thing, and it takes me back to
Yeah.
like Damon Wayans and
Yeah.
like Handyman or
Yeah.
Blank Man, which may not be accepted as well today if it came out.
But it happened.
But it
Yeah.
opened doors
That's
for it to
right.
happen.
Yeah.
It moved me.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a cute little kids movie, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right.
see?
I liked it more than Aquaman, but then again, that's not really saying
But
much.
Jason
Right.
Momoa isn't in Shazam, but Zachary Levi is, and we're
Yeah.
for that.
Are
I
you?
love
Are-
you.
are
You
you?
liked it more
Okay.
than Aquaman. That's like saying, I love the flu more than malaria.
Exactly. It's better than malaria if you think about it.
Really? I sat down with Zachary to talk about the high life and the big points in this movie. Take a look. It touches on all kinds of nerves, like when we're kids, like our kid crushes.
Yeah.
Does it take you back to like the OC, your original crush?
OC. I've never heard that
I
term.
just made that up.
You just made that up.
Yeah.
Coined it. No, I don't think so. It never did that for me. But certainly is all the wish fulfillment on every level. I mean, the movie's about wish fulfillment, about
Right.
the kid and all of us getting to be that superhero. But I was that kid. I still am that kid. I am that adult actor who always wanted to be a superhero, portray one. So it's just wish fulfillment on top of wish fulfillment on top of wish fulfillment.
Oh, hey, what's up? I'm a superhero.
Ah, Zachary Levi, I love that guy. Zachary, I'm sorry not everybody at the table loved the movie as much as I did.
I still think it's good.
I think it's good. I think it's a great comic book movie for people who don't love comic book movies, because
Yeah.
it's more like big.
Yeah, it's funny. It's something that my kid really enjoyed it, and it's one of those movies that I sat there and I was like, you know what? This is a real parenting moment. This is for the kids, you know?
Yeah.
I really toughed it out for the
Buck
kids.
up. You ready to take another one for the mommy team?
Of course.
You gotta go see Missing Link if you're a mom, if you love your children. If not,
Oh,
But if you love your daughter,
that's
you're
not
gonna
a
go-
guilt trip at all.
guilting you right now, but there are a multitude of reasons why you should see this movie, and we'll talk with Zach Galifianakis about it next. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter, Maria Gloria, Mikey Winfield, Kelly Savannah Deaton, and Marcus Allen. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, big round of applause to the men and women in 168 different countries and territories worldwide watching on AFN. Thank you so much for protecting our country.
Thank you.
And don't forget about our YouTube channel. I know when you're traveling, you miss us, Mike. Check in the Extra Butter
That's
YouTube
all I do.
channel.
That's all I do.
Really?
I
I'm
know.
sitting around, I'm like, you know what, I gotta watch it on YouTube.
And that's why you said to yourself, they need me, and that's why you're here,
That's
huh?
why-
Let's back
right,
up. What
right.
are you wearing when you're sitting around watching us in
You
your
know, not
hotel room
much,
in your
not
YouTube
much.
channel?
That's a weird question.
All right, good job. All right, so let's get back to family content. Missing Link in theaters everywhere this weekend. I love this movie for a multitude of reasons. So Travis Knight, the guy that runs the studio, he's the heir apparent to the Nike throne. This kid doesn't have to work another day in
No,
his
shouldn't
life.
that be enough? Shouldn't
But-
that be enough?
I would be dead from all of my bad habits if I was that guy.
Right.
But this guy created a movie studio. They brought you Coraline,
Yeah.
Aaron Norman.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Kubo.
and the two
Oh, wow.
strings.
Yeah, yeah.
And the list keeps coming and coming. I can't believe how they make these movies, though. How painstakingly crazy it is. How they? Do you want to explain how they make it?
Yeah, let me show you guys.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on, Mark.
How did they make
Okay,
it?
so this movie is not computer generated, it's
No,
stop-go
It's
animation.
stop motion. It's
So what do you do?
literally this.
Okay.
Mark, move the popcorn a little bit.
Smaller, tinier.
A little bit more. And again. And again. And again.
Throughout the whole.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show.
And repeat
Wow.
that.
And
about
every
a million
character
times.
That right?
moving, every
Yes.
little time the character moves,
Right.
does anything, facial expressions.
Right.
Like the
Great stars. You got Hugh Jackman, you got Zoe Saldana, and I sat down with her.
Wait. Do you still have your hand?
Oh,
Do you guys want to know why?
What is
why-
this about?
I can explain.
Oh, please do.
So I was walking past a magazine stand on my way to interview her one time, and there was her on the cover of Cosmo
You
magazine.
did not bring that into the
But it
interview.
was shrink wrapped, and if you bought it, you got a free thing of fingernail polish. And so I took it in, and she insisted on painting my fingernail.
She
Respect.
did?
I kept
Okay.
it like that forever. This finger, as I recall. We talked. Take a look. Lovely to see you.
Good to see
I
you.
gotta tell you something. The very first time I ever heard the word in regard to social media viral, it was because of something that you and I participated in. I sat down with you to interview you about a movie, and you were on the cover of a magazine in London. I grabbed it off the shelf, and with it, you got a free bottle of nail polish, and you painted my fingernails while we did the interview.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That is so awesome.
And I posted it, and someone said, "What did you do? It's going crazy."
I
So-
painted your fingernail.
You did, and I swear I never washed it. I mean, it's been years, so it's gone
still
now.
there.
But it was there.
No, I remember. That was so awesome.
The
Thank you
fingernail-
for letting me do that actually on camera.
Well, it was awesome, and it spoke to me what kind of amazing human being you were, that you would lean into that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, congratulations on this.
Thank you.
You've done a little bit of everything, but nothing quite like this.
No. I like to check, weird boxes off my bucket list, and stop motion is a form of filmmaking that I've loved so much since I was a child. Leica has been a studio that they've always been on my radar since they came out with like Coraline and Box Trolls. I just enjoy it. It's just so beautiful. So getting to be a part of something like this, it makes me feel great.
Yeah, it's heartwarming and hysterical, and I swore I would never say something so cliche, but it's so true. I brought some fingernail polish because there's no time. All right,
Aw,
missing link
man.
2 then.
Yeah.
She is lovely.
She's
Yes, she
perfect.
is. The last time I saw her, she was green.
Oh,
She's been green. She's been blue.
That's right.
I
Exactly.
love her in every color, every primary.
Thanks for helping me tease ahead. In a couple weeks, we're doing our big Endgame special. We'll be talking about Zoe Saldana and that because she's in the Marvel Universe and
Yeah.
Avatar. I can do an impression of her from Avatar.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah?
I see you. That's all I got.
You killed that.
That's right. Thank you very much.
That was
That's all I
pretty
got.
good.
Honestly,
All right.
end
Kill.
scene.
All right, the comedians at the table. Have you guys ever crossed paths with Zach Galifianakis doing a stand-up?
Well, actually, one time. Oh,
Not
I'm
you.
pretty funny, but I'm not an official comedian. Go ahead, guys.
No, I haven't had the opportunity.
No, actually, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to the story.
Okay.
There was his poster up, and he was coming to the same comedy club that I was coming to.
Yeah.
So I saw his poster on the wall.
You're playing.
Rock on.
Appearing tonight on the same stage.
I watched The
hours
Hangover.
apart.
No,
Like
no,
you would
no,
know
no, no.
that.
Months.
Oh.
Months.
All right.
I
Months
met him
apart.
once at a pre-Oscar party,
Yeah?
and he's a very short individual.
I saw him
I
in
watched The Hangover, so.
Funny
That's
you
the
should
best.
say
That's
that.
the best. The Hangover is
It's like
his best role.
27 degrees of separation.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
Kevin
sure he was
Bacon.
hungover when we talked. Take a look. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm a huge fan of your work, a huge fan of your interview acumen. So it's a little daunting sitting in front of you, trying to interview such a great interviewer.
Yeah, I've done a lot of good interviews over the years. Are you talking about my Between Two Ferns work?
Yeah. Are there others?
No.
Okay.
No, there's nothing else. Yeah, I was a war correspondent for years.
Well, I loved the commitment that you
Thank
brought
you.
to that. You really went above and beyond to jump out of the trenches.
Thank you.
Between Two Ferns, before I move on, since you did bring that up, who's your favorite of all of them? If you could whittle it down to the top 3 guests you had.
Oh, President Obama, I liked.
Yep.
Charlize Theron was just a really fun one to do. And Bradley Cooper.
Awesome. Bradley, because you've got a lot in common. Some history together.
We
You've
don't have
done a couple-
anything in common.
You've made 3 films together.
Oh
for
yeah,
crying out loud. There's that.
we have that in common.
All right. If you went back in time and talked to like the little 10-year-old, 8-year-old Zach Galifianakis, and you were watching stop-go animation, whether it was Rudolph or whatever you had at the time, what would he say if you said, someday you're going to grow up and you're going to be doing this?
If the 49-year version of mine would talk to the 8-year-old version, I'm sure the 8-year-old version would go, "Get away from me, you creep."
Stranger danger.
Mom!
Mom! But I guess let's broaden that out. Are you blown away by all that you've had at hand on?
Listen, I have a very cynical side of me, but it is never lost on me how lucky I am to be doing, and how grateful I am to be able to, that people ask me to do these things. It's never lost on me. So it is exciting. And my dad used to tell me, he's like, look, you get to make people laugh. Like, that's my dad was always like, don't lose perspective of that. So the 8-year-old would never have believed the creepy 49-year-old. Never. There's no way. Wasn't supposed to happen.
So is he hungover or does he hate me? Or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both.
Definitely
but I
both.
mean,
That's
you
how I
did
know
good.
we're friends.
You did good.
I bank on the hatred.
One is more than the other, and I'll let you take that guess.
Oh, that's how I know we're all good friends at this table, because you guys aren't afraid to defeat
We
me.
love Mark so much.
Yeah, we do. We love this guy.
I'm okay.
I was just jealous of you because you're always so nice and spiffy.
I don't know. Follow me on Instagram, TV Marcus Allen. I'll show a picture of my teeth ridiculously bleached white and getting some Zach Galifianakis scorn all at the same time.
I love it.
You'll see
Maybe
it.
he was in character.
Maybe. Let's go with that. All right, coming up in a moment, a character you've got to meet, the young lady that stars in Little. Why? She is now officially the youngest producer in the history of Hollywood.
Okay.
We'll talk about that next. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter just hanging out. I went in for a refill. You guys are plowing through the popcorn.
Yeah, it's the
Thanks for
right
hanging out
butter
with
on there.
All right, grab
Extra
yourself some
butter.
popcorn.
Yeah.
Got to get into a movie that you're going to love munching the popcorn on. This movie, Little. I love this for a multitude of reasons. I know I'm an old guy, but I love coming-of-age movies. My very first crush was the original Freaky Friday and Jodie Foster.
Huh?
Really?
I think you missed the mark on that, Mark.
Wow.
I was 10. It didn't matter. What did I know?
Well,
It's okay. We'll just leave it be.
Either way.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anywho, anybody see the remake of Freaky Friday?
Yes, with Lindsay Lohan
Yeah.
and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies. I think that's why I love this
Is it?
movie so much. Yeah, it's.
Oh.
I love these cute little like coming of age, like
13
trade
going on
bodies,
30.
like 13 going on 30, life size. I
Twins.
love movies like
yes, I love movies
Good
like
pull.
that.
You know who else loved
Big.
this movie?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Big.
go ahead.
Marsai's mom and dad loved the movie Big with Tom Hanks. So
Who's
that's
Marsai?
The amazing little girl in this movie. I don't even know. We shouldn't even call her a little girl. We should
No.
call her like an entrepreneur.
Yeah, a
a
wonderkin.
CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
she's
wonderkin.
incredible. But she concepted this movie with her parents because of their love for the
Yeah.
movie Big.
Right. She approached Will Packer at a party. Will Packer, by the way, is this Uber producer who produced
Girls Trip.
and
Night School.
Right, and said, hey, I got an idea for a movie. He set her with a meeting. She pitched. He
Rock
bit what
on.
she was buying, and all of a sudden now she is the youngest producer in the history of Hollywood to have a major motion
What are we
picture.
doing in life?
How kick-ass. 10 years old and
No
she
kidding.
had that going.
My
Like, how does that
self-esteem,
happen?
my self-esteem is shot right now. Guys.
Right.
Like just
Good for her.
I'm gonna go.
I couldn't tie my shoes at 10. Barely can now. Listen to her talk about it.
We have a bunch of black girl magic in this film. We have Issa, we have Regina, Tina as our director. It can't be much better than that. And I just think that could actually inspire girls or like teenagers like me to actually, it doesn't matter like how old you are. You don't have to wait till you're 32 or 42, whatever. Just, just do it whenever. I mean, that's the point I'm trying to get to.
She is so charming in real life and, of course, in this movie. And so I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago for CinemaCon. That's where all the big theater owners and all the big movie producers get together. And Will Packer mispronounced Marsai's name. And that's her co-producer and the star of his movie. And Regina Hall followed him and said, and a big round of applause to Will Packer, who doesn't even know how to pronounce Marsai's name.
Leave it to Regina Hall to be like,
You had
no,
one
you
job.
cannot do that to her.
You had one job.
Right?
Regina Hall is someone I'm watching in everything now, including
true.
Black Monday with
Right?
Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
I'm watching her in the old scary movies, but my
Oh, yeah.
favorite is one of my all-time favorite movies, which is Paid in Full. Man,
my
we
gosh.
need to go back and watch this. It's an underrated hood flick that
Yeah,
people
I know.
need to see.
Funny you should mention that because that's what she talked about.
Really?
No, not really, but look.
Okay.
I just thought it was so great for young girls, for young black girls, but mostly for all girls, all women, to be able to kind of see a story, you know, that was magical and that was also really warm, you know what I mean, and had such a beautiful kind of arc about friendship and trust and vulnerability and you know what it means to be kind, how important that is.
She really is such a sweetheart, like in most of her roles. So
Yeah.
I love to see her play such a
Just go for it.
Yeah, she goes for it. Like she literally makes you kind of hate her, but that just shows that's good acting right there.
You hate her, but you like her.
But you love
And you're
her.
kind of like, I want to be that
I
boss.
wanna be that
But a little bit nicer, right? No.
It's got humor, it's got heart. These are the things I look for in the movie. Coming up next, a movie that has neither. Hellboy has a new name.
Oh, no.
Not really, it's still called Hellboy, but they're rebooting it anyway. We're talking to that guy next. Hey, welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. It is Extra Butter. Why are you spinning the popcorn?
He asked me to, but that wasn't a very good spin.
Not
I
at all.
apologize.
Did you guys used to play Spin the Popcorn?
Is that a new game?
What?
Let's play Spin the Popcorn. All right. But that is kind of a good idea. You drop the butter in the center and you spin it as a centrifuge to get every kernel coated with even glistening
Because that's
butter.
the word
What
we
were you
use,
saying?
centrifuge.
What were you saying earlier, that it took you a long time to find girls?
We
I
don't
wonder why.
Look, we only
No,
have
I wonder why. Anyway,
because
so
I say words like
Hellboy-
centrifuge. Look, we only have 2 minutes left in the show. I got a lot of people to talk to. Hellboy, they've rebooted it. Guillermo del Toro, not involved, but he did a great job the first time around.
Yes, he did.
Okay, I have to know, did you really like this movie? What are your thoughts? Your honest thoughts?
I'm a huge fan of David Harbour. David Harbour,
Yes,
think about it. He's
Stranger
touched the
Things.
DC, Stranger Things,
Oh,
of course,
yeah.
the
Big
DC
fan.
universe,
I
the
loved it.
Marvel universe.
I loved him in The Equalizer. He played a really good evil guy
Yeah?
in The Equalizer.
He does play a good evil
He
guy.
plays such a
So Mikey
Are
Winfield.
we avoiding talking about this?
Exactly.
I think this
We didn't
movie
even notice, Ro.
is the epitome of why people go to movies. This is fantasy and fiction, and it
yeah.
just is away from. This is about a guy from hell that comes to Earth on, look this up, October 5th, which has zero significance.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. October 5th.
That
So you
has
like
zero
it.
significance.
So you're a fan. You're a cheerleader.
So
of
yeah, this
this
is a movie that's out like right now.
I mean, I think honestly, it was very brave of them to reboot something that was done so well. I mean, to touch something that Guillermo del Toro, I mean, completely just blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's those are some big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill.
You know, Mikey Winfield, to answer your question, am I avoiding the subject? That's pretty much what I did. You know, when I'm talking about an awkward handshake in the interview, I'm tap dancing.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry. Hey, let's shake hands again. Let's try that again. Just look. How you holding up?
I'm all right. Yeah.
Good to see you.
You too.
Congrats. That was kind of a weird handshake. I'm sorry.
There you go.
What do you do when you go in and you get the awkward handshake? Do you do a redo or do you just call
That's
it
a
what it
good
is?
question. That's a good question. I like the fact that you call it like it is and go back in.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to live.
Well, I'm so insecure. I would be like a mile away from here going, Hellboy thinks I have a lame handshake.
I know. I do the same thing. I obsess over weird social interactions, but they happen so often that eventually you just have to let them go.
One might be happening right now.
It might be, but we can move forward. I trust us.
All right. Congrats on this.
Thanks, man.
For that matter, congrats on your life. Do you ever consider the life you've had? You've touched the DC universe. You touched the Marvel universe. You are Hellboy.
I'm Hellboy. Yeah. Yes.
Like, go back and tell the 10-year-old you, look at all you're gonna do when you grow up.
That is amazing. I never expected, and especially, it sort of happened to me at 40. And so, like, I never expected, I thought it was over, I mean, not over. I had a very nice career that was a supporting career, and then to be able to, in my 40s, really start to, like, do these types of movies on a big scale, it's like, it's a dream come true.
That guy is super cool, and to backpedal a little bit, I want to remind you, there are a lot of people that love Hellboy, so even if some people didn't get this movie, there are people that do.
Did you just call me stupid?
Whoa.
No!
Wow.
Did anybody?
Unbelievable.
Back it up.
understood the movie. I just wasn't a huge fan of it, but I am a huge fan of David Harbour.
Yeah.
And I love how much method acting went into this
Right.
with all the makeup.
Oh, yeah?
You go, David, you go.
Way to commit.
Yeah, you got it.
I love cheekbones in this movie. I think he did a good job too.
Yeah, no
Daniel
kidding.
Day-Kim.
Yes.
There
Oh,
you
man.
go.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you seen him? He's gorgeous.
Yeah, his face is not, that's like a face from God. That's not
That's
normal.
what I'm saying.
Indeed.
That's what I'm saying.
Did somebody say face from God? I hear Milla Jovovich in my head.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I
She's
have-
got a face, body, everything from God. You
I
go.
have loved her since, what was it, the Fifth Element?
The Fifth
Yeah, the Bruce
Element.
Willis movie,
Yeah.
where
I
she was
love
called the
her.
perfect being, and she
Yep.
still is.
The perfect
She will
being.
always be.
So did we talk about this movie? Not so much. We talked about her childhood growing up in Sacramento, California.
Bro, Sacramento.
If you read your Wikipedia page, it says that you went from Russia, I think maybe a stop in London and then Sacramento, California.
That's right.
The same could
Like,
be...
that's my hometown.
I know, how wild is this? And I'm looking it up. If you look up Jessica Chastain, Sacramento, California.
Oh, really?
Brie Larson, Sacramento,
Get
California.
out.
What's in the water in Sacramento,
You
California?
know what? I love Sacramento, and growing up there as a kid was heaven because one of our closest family friends had a ranch out there, and my dad was helping him build it.
Right.
Like hundreds of acres of land. I would leave in the morning. My mom would like stick a sandwich in a bag and be like, bye. And I'd be walking through fields, jumping off rocks into lakes, like doing stuff all by myself, and no one was scared because there was just like cows and
Right.
animals, and it was incredible growing up somewhere like that because there was so much safety, but I earned so much independence as well.
Milla Jovovich talked about her 10-year-old lifestyle. What were you doing when you were 10 years old? Where would we find you?
Oh, a water park. Always swimming.
Mike?
I was in class and everyone was cheating off of my homework.
Smart guy.
I definitely had a bowl haircut when I was 10, and I was a second-degree black belt in karate, so just throwing it out there, people.
Wow. I'm a yellow belt.
Me, I was hanging out with Milla Jovovich. Not true, but in my dreams.
You were hanging out in your bedroom with Star Wars sheets and your own built Star Wars things.
Our end
saying,
credits are over.
I like that technology they have
Wait,
there.
who did he
We're
say he had
gone.
a crush on?
Everybody.
Jodie Foster.
How did I know?